So there's this thing called Google. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with Google. Matter of fact, most of us probably use it every day, but here's the thing. Many of you, most if you will, probably think of Google as a tool. And better yet, you probably believe yourself to be quite the expert wielding around this googly tool with your classic type and search whatever's on your mind approach. I'm here to change this because Google is not a tool. Google is a machine and you are the tool. You are the tool that operates this machine that is Google, and today I want to teach you how you can be more effective as an academic operator and whatever you search for in your spare time. Hi there, my name is Chelsea Seaburn. Welcome to The Smart Student. In case you didn't catch that intro, this video is going to be all about how you, the student, can better use Google as the powerhouse that it is. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, then you know that I speak from an academic writing and researching standpoint, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here today. But with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into the good stuff. Okay, so first, let's start with the basic understanding of how Google works. So let's say you need to write a paper about the health benefits of the paleo diet. More specifically, you want to talk about the paleo diet and its benefits for weight loss. So what you might do is go to Google and type something like, is the paleo diet good for weight loss? Why? Because this is how we speak and think, therefore it's only natural that that's what we would type into Google. But here's the thing, that's not how Google thinks or speaks. You see, Google has its own language, and its language is based off of one thing, which are keywords. The words is, for, the, good, doesn't matter to Google. All that Google cares about is paleo diet and weight loss. All of those other words muddy up the search results. If this were a personal search, you might type something into Google like, I want to see corgi videos. Again, Google doesn't care that you want to see. What Google cares about is corgi and videos. It's important that you understand this because this is going to lead me right into my first tip for using Google for academic purposes. And that is simply to create a list of keywords before you research, because here's the thing, oftentimes students get assigned a research topic or a paper topic and they'll get tunnel vision on the keywords that are in the assignment, when in reality there are a lot of different keywords that mean the same thing, or at least would lead you to other valuable articles that would work for your research topic as well. So in the example before, let's say you still want to stay in the health realm, but instead of researching the health benefits of a specific diet, you want to research the health benefits of exercise. So real quick, before you go into Google, can you think of any other words, keywords, that would work in place of either exercise or health benefits? Yes, I don't know about you, but I can think of a few off exercise alone. So in this case, there's a lot of different keywords that could work in place of exercise, aka synonyms, which is what you want to look for. So in the case of exercise, you could take fitness, workouts, athletics, movement. And then what about health benefits? What other synonyms would you be willing to accept in place of health benefits? Now, the reason why this is important is because coming up with other acceptable keywords will broaden your searches, but if you come up with a list of keywords for a word like health benefits, it's going to help you focus your research as well, because when you do this, you'll realize that there are a lot of different routes you could go with health benefits. For example, do you want to stick with weight loss as a health benefit? Do you want to talk about energy, endurance, and stamina? Do you want to talk about a medical health benefit like cardiovascular, lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, lower risk of heart attacks? As you can see, there are so many different ways you can approach health benefits. So by clarifying the keywords you're willing to use beforehand, this is going to help you create a game plan before you research. But for the sake of this video, we're going to choose the weight loss route. So in other words, we're going to look up exercise and all those variations of keywords in regards to weight loss. Cool. So the first approach you might take with good old Google is you're going to type in those two keywords into Google, and awesome, Google understands that you want articles that hold both of those keywords. So it's going to bring up articles, whatever it finds that include weight loss and exercise. Fantastic. But now, let's say you want to broaden your search results. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself into those two keywords only. Your first strategy may be to use the Boolean operator OR. Ooh, real quick, for those of you that are new to Boolean operators, a Boolean operator is simply a word or symbol you can use to either refine, filter, narrow, or broaden your search results in a database. Back to what I was saying, let's talk about the Boolean operator OR. So if you want to broaden your search results, OR is the perfect way to do this, because what you can do is you can type in two keywords, two synonym keywords with the Boolean operator OR in between, and Google reads that either or will do. So you can have an article that has both keywords, one keyword or the other one, and Google understands that that's acceptable. So in this case, what is awesome is you could type in the keyword weight loss and then fitness or exercise. Google understands that weight loss is non-negotiable, must be included in the article, but then on the other side, it can pull up articles that include weight loss and exercise or weight loss and fitness. Either one works. Now, please note that the Boolean operator OR is capitalized. This is very important. Google kindly asks that you capitalize your Boolean operators, otherwise it can't tell it apart from the other keywords. But now, let's say you're one of those students who doesn't care to plan ahead. Maybe you don't have time for it, maybe you don't care. Either way, Google is there for you, because you can use the tilde symbol, better known as the wave symbol, to your advantage. So in this case, what the tilde does is it brings up synonyms of the keyword you put into Google. So this is fantastic, because in this example, you could type in the keyword weight loss, put the tilde symbol in front of exercise, and Google reads that as weight loss, again, non-negotiable, but now I'm going to pull up articles that use the word exercise and any other synonym for it. This is a great Boolean operator to use when you're in the beginning stages of research. You're doing the preliminary research, because you may not be aware of all the different synonyms associated with a keyword. Even if you use a thesaurus, there may still be keywords you're not aware of. So by using the tilde symbol, it's going to broaden your search results to show you all of these acceptable articles that could work for your research. Now, let's say you're done with your preliminary research. You're not exploring the topic anymore because you know exactly what you want to write about. This is when you're going to want to refine your searches in Google, which means you either want to filter, narrow down, but basically you want to get specific about the results that Google pulls up. This is where double quotation marks will come in handy. Matter of fact, not just come in handy, they will be your best friend, because you can put keywords or phrases, anything you want, in quotation marks, and Google will read that as an exact phrase match. In other words, their search results are only going to pull up articles that contain those keywords or phrases verbatim, which is really useful when you're researching specific topics. Now, double quotations are useful in so many scenarios, but let's go over 3 that are the most common. So the first one is when you're searching for a fragment of something. So this might be a part of song lyrics, a poem, or maybe a famous quote, and you want to find the original author. So going back to the example, you're writing your health and fitness paper and you really want to drive home one of the points with a quote. And there's this quote that you love. It goes something like, "All progress takes place outside of the comfort zone." You know, a Michael Bobak says this. You love this quote. You want to include it in your paper. So you go to Google and you type in the quote. The problem is all of this search results bring up articles written by all these different people, and you want one by Michael Bobak. So what you could do is put it in quotation marks, and that tells Google to only pull up articles where they're referenced by Michael Bobak, therefore putting the original source in your paper. Moving on to scenario number 2 of when double quotations come in handy, and that is when you're researching something that could easily be confused for something else. So let's change directions. Let's say you're writing a new paper. You're writing about this famous medical physician who helped advance anesthesia in the late 18th century. Cool. His name is John Snow. So you go to Google and you type in John Snow, and much to your surprise, instead of pulling up articles about your dear John of the Victorian era, you have a bunch of articles of Jon Snow, Fire and Ice God from Game of Thrones, and no, you don't care that winter is coming, at least not right now, because you have a paper to write. So what you could do is type in Jon Snow, medical physician, in double quotations, and that would tell Google that, oh, you're looking for the other Jon Snow. You could trade out medical physician for any keyword you wanted to. You could put in the Victorian era. You could put in the actual dates of when he was a practicing physician. Again, the keyword is up to you, but by putting it in double quotations, you're speaking Google's language by telling Google that this is the Jon Snow you want to learn about. And that brings me into the third way that double quotations come in handy, and that is when the order of your keywords matter. This is most common when you're searching for names, but for example, when you type Jon Snow into Google, Google doesn't realize that Jon Snow is the keyword you're looking for. Google is going to search for John, it's going to search for Snow, it'll search for Jon Snow, but as you can see, all of these different routes that Google's going to search for is going to muddy up your search results. Matter of fact, I have Jon Snow typed in right now, and Google has pulled up over 400 million results. Now, if I put Jon Snow in double quotations like this, well, that narrows the search results to 5 million. Again, that's still a lot, but as you can see, it significantly narrowed and refined my search results. Now, moving on to the next Boolean operator you can use to refine and narrow your search results, and that is the hyphen, better known as the minus symbol. But what the hyphen does is it subtracts the keyword from the search results. So as you can imagine, this is incredibly useful. So let's go back to our fitness example, and you're looking for fitness and exercise best for weight loss, and you keep getting articles for CrossFit. You don't want to write about CrossFit. You don't want those in your search results. So it's very simple. You can type in fitness hyphen CrossFit. Google understands that you're interested in fitness, but if it contains the keyword CrossFit, don't include it in your search results. And from here, I want to point out that you can start to mix and match these different Boolean operators together. So what you could do is type in fitness or workouts minus CrossFit. So now Google is pulling up search results for both fitness and workouts, and it's still remembering to exclude articles that include CrossFit. The hyphen is an excellent way to clean up your search results, and oftentimes you don't know what you want to exclude until you start researching. So let's say you're writing a paper on cats. Wonderful. You go to Google, you type in cat, and instead of pulling up articles about cats, you're getting articles about the company Caterpillar. You don't want that in your search results. So again, put that hyphen in front of the keyword Caterpillar. Google will pull that out of your search results. And now another way you might use a hyphen, and this is one of the lesser known ways you can use it, and I want to share it with you now because it's incredibly important, especially when you're doing academic research. Well, so you have a keyword, and there may be a synonym associated with it, and that synonym may be bias. So for example, let's say you're writing a paper on immigration, and as you're doing your research on immigration, the keyword illegal aliens keeps popping up. In these articles that use that keyword illegal aliens, that's not the tone you want for your research. So with the wonderful hyphen, you can use it in front of the keyword illegal aliens. That will tell Google that you're not interested in that, you're only interested in immigration. Pretty cool, huh? But anyways, let's go ahead and move on. It looks like we have 3 other Boolean operators I want to talk about. These are a little more advanced, which is why I saved them for now. And then I want to end with 3 general search strategies you can use on Google that I know are helpful for academic writing and research. But let's go ahead and start with the first of the last Boolean operator, and this is when you want to search a specific website or database. The Boolean operator itself is the word cite with a colon, and then what you would do is you would type out the website you want to search in, followed by the keywords you want to search for. So the reason this is so useful is it's helpful to find credible sources because it allows you to search databases that you know are qualified to speak on particular topics. So with your health and fitness paper, there may be a website that you want to search for because again, you know they're qualified to speak on these topics. So what you would do is you would type out the Boolean operator cite with a colon, followed by, let's say, livestrong.com, that's the website you want to search in, followed by the keyword exercise. That's the keyword you want to search for. What you're telling Google is that you want to search for all of the articles that Livestrong has put out that includes the keyword exercise, which is really cool because you can play around with a bunch of different keywords, which would bring up articles from the exact websites that you want with the exact keywords you're looking for. Now, I have a pro tip with this Boolean operator, and it's perfect for academic purposes, and that is to use the cite Boolean operator, follow it by the domain suffix of .edu followed by your keywords. What this is going to tell Google is that you're interested in these keywords only from academic sources though that use the suffix .edu. This is incredibly powerful in finding credible sources for your academic writing and research papers. So as you can see here, if I use this trick and type in the keywords health and fitness, all of my search results are from academic databases. Now, the next Boolean operator is very similar to this one, but instead of searching in a specific website or database, let's say you want to search a specific region, say a different part of the world, another country. Instead of pulling up health and fitness articles from the US, you want to look at it from the perspective of Europe, a European country, or maybe Australia. The way you would do this is you would type out the Boolean operator, the word country, followed by a colon, followed by the abbreviation for the country's database you want to search in. So let's take Australia. Again, type out country, colon, followed by AUS, which is the abbreviation for Australia. And as you can see, Google knows to pull up articles that are written from Australia. Now, when it comes to academic research, I think this would be very useful in history classes. For example, let's say you're writing about World War II, but you don't want to look at it from the perspective of the US. You want to look at it from the perspective of a different country. You could use this to search for, say, France World War II articles, and that would give you a different perspective. You could look from the perspective of Germany, of Russia, of Japan, whatever you wanted to by using this Boolean operator. And that leads me right into the final Boolean operator, and that is, instead of searching a specific database or a specific country, let's say you want to search for a specific file type. So instead of getting written articles, let's say you're interested in an audio version or you're looking for PDFs of something. You can do this by using the Boolean operator file type with a colon, followed by the type of file you're looking for, and then of course some keywords to tell Google exactly what you're looking for. But this is very useful. So in this case, let's say that you want to find a PDF workout book with examples of exercises. Great. Type out file type with a colon, followed by PDF, and then a keyword, maybe workout book or exercises. And Google knows that you want a PDF with exercises. To be clear, there are so many other Boolean operators where those came from, but those are the most common and most important in my opinion. Now what I want to do is give you my 3 additional Google search strategies that I know are helpful from a student standpoint. The first one is so simple yet so genius, and that is to do your research in incognito mode. Incognito simply means to hide one's identity, and when you're in incognito mode in Google, it's a blank slate. So I'm sure you're familiar with this, but Google remembers your search results. Matter of fact, Google recommends articles to you based off your search results. So Let's say you're writing a paper about bears. Cool. You're also a die-hard Chicago Bears fan, and your search history is full of Chicago Bears articles, information, pictures, videos, you name it. Well, when you go to research for this paper and you're researching bears, Google is going to throw Chicago Bear articles at you because it's going to think that's what you're interested in. Now, if you simply switch your browser to incognito mode, Google doesn't remember any of that. When you search bears, it'll be from that blank slate, which is really helpful depending on what you're researching. Now, this next Google search strategy, it's not necessarily a trick, but it's something that's often overlooked and can be really helpful as a student, which is why I'm including it here, and that is to use Google for the giant dictionary that it is and search for definitions of words that you don't understand. This sounds like common sense, but the thing is oftentimes when you're researching a topic or writing a paper and you get that frustration in you because you don't quite understand the concept that you're talking about, it's often because you're missing the basic foundation of what some of those words mean. So what you can do is take that word, type it into Google, followed by the word definition, and Google's gonna pull up a bunch of different definitions for that word. Now, there is an official Boolean operator for this, and that is to type out the word define, followed by a colon, followed by the word. But let's be real, you can type out the word, followed by def, and you will get the same results. And that leads me right into the last Google search strategy, which again is not necessarily a strategy, but another option you have for using Google, which is really helpful as a student, and that is to compare and contrast your keywords. So in this one, you have two words, you're not quite sure what the difference is, go ahead and use Google to tell you. You would simply take those keywords, type out verse in the middle, VS, the shortened version of it, and Google is gonna pull up the differences between the two. I use this all the time. So for example, effect versus effect. I Google this at least 20 times a year. I will never fully know the difference between these two words, but thankfully Google is always there to remind me. But a couple other examples might be annotate versus summarize. Do you actually know the difference between those two words? Not most people do. They're pretty similar, but understanding the difference is key as a student. Or how about synonym and simile? Let's say you're writing that health and fitness paper and you're talking about dieting and healthy eating and you realize, wait a minute, what's the difference between these two? They are different, but I don't actually know. Going to Google and reading articles that explain the difference to you, again, is so useful because it helps you draw meaning and understanding, which helps make you a more effective student. All right, everyone, if you are still here right now, you're amazing because that means you watched this video all the way through. By the way, if you've made it this far, please go down to the comment section below and let me know which one of these tips was your favorite. Was there any you didn't know you already knew? And which one are you excited to use the most? But anyways, thanks again for being here. And as always, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this every week. Thanks, guys.